So, you're here to get to know Breath of the Wild a little better then, huh? Well, it's actually fairly effortless for me to summarize this game. But where exactly do I start? A summary of the greatest game of all time. It's good. It's good. Okay. Now, let's actually be thoughtful about this and put on our serious faces.
Why so serious?
Since Link's Awakening is coming out in a few weeks and Breath of the Wild 2 just got announced, it's the perfect time to recap on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. No major spoilers. Well, after years in development hell, this game was published by Nintendo on March 3rd, 2017 for the Switch. And it also came out for Wii U, but yeah. It is an action-adventure RPG with an immense open world and is set in the Zelda universe. Breath of the Wild takes place after all 3 Zelda timelines and is rumored to be the outcome of any of the 3. And yes, there are 3 timelines, you better don't ask. Nintendo probably just made some timeline up as they went along. But since this last entry in the Zelda universe starts off where it does, you don't really need any backstory to enjoy this game or its plot. The game takes place 10,000 years after the 100th or so reincarnation of Ganon tries to take over Hyrule. Once again. Very original plot, never done before. It gets my seal of originality. 10 out of 10 IGN. Oh, but there's too much water. Well. Now, Hyrule is the kingdom in which most of the Zelda games take place. And thankfully Ganon was defeated 10,000 years prior to this game's start. He once again was defeated by another little girl called Zelda and another little boy called Link, who is the hero of the Zelda games that is always called Link. And yes, he is always called Link. If you were one of those people who used to name Link anything else but Link, you are a complete wrong'un. Back that up! So, 9,900 years after Ganon's last defeat, and 100 years prior to the start of this game, Ganon is awoken once again. But despite all the effort the whole kingdom of Hyrule has put into preparing for this day, this time Ganon is actually victorious because someone is having a hard time figuring out their language. The whole kingdom is devastated and was torn to pieces. Everyone in the castle and all of the champions are killed. The only ones to survive are a few small towns, Zelda herself, and Link, who has been asleep for the last 100 years. Lazy little prick. Now, let's move on to the actual story. This game's plot will feel very familiar to Avatar fans. And no, in this channel, we will never be talking about the piece of Scheiße that is James Cameron's Avatar movie. When I say Avatar, I only mean the good Avatar. The original Avatar. The masterpiece that is known as M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar movie. The similarities are very obvious. In Breath of the Wild, you have a chosen character, who is reborn every now and then with the soul of the hero, who has now been asleep for 100 years.
You have been asleep for the past 100 years.
This chosen hero now has to free the land of a malice that has been plaguing it for the last century.
And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon.
A time of peace, when the Avatar kept balance between the Water Tribes, Earth Kingdom, Fire Nation, and Air Nomads. But that all changed when the Fire Nation attacked. 100 years have passed, and the Fire Nation is nearing victory in the war.
And he has to complete his adventure before some significant event that will inevitably leave the antagonist more powerful occurs.
However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon.
Aang, you must defeat the Fire Lord before the comet arrives. Sozin's comet will return by the end of this summer, and Fire Lord Ozai will use its power to finish the war once and for all.
Now, I'm not hating on the game, there are just way too many similarities. And the icing on the cake is the fact that in Breath of the Wild, you are tasked with freeing 4 divine beasts. And in Avatar, he is tasked with mastering 4 different elements. Now, you might just think that that's far-fetched. But hey, if you think about it, the divine beasts are each piloted by one of the champions, and those champions represent the 4 elements. First you have Mipha, who can heal using waterbending. Daruk, who is very proficient with earthbending. Rivali is a master airbender. Well, he just just needs to lose his attitude and some of his feathers and then he would fit right in. And lastly, you also have Urbosa, who is the group's firebender. Well, technically she can only bend lightning, but since that's a sub-form of firebending, I'll count it for now. Now, there's not much more I can say about the story without spoiling too much of this beautiful game, but you might be wondering what else you can do and find in this game, right? So, this game starts off with giving you everything you need. A stick and panties. But don't worry, in this massive open world, you will find enough things that will be able to boost your fashion sense and your weapons. I mean, look what I found! Now I can use a normal stick and a long stick! And oh my god, a potato sack! A potato sack! Breath of the Wild starts off very hard, since it barely gives you anything. You just gotta get good and farm rupees. A whole lot of damn rupees, so you can buy that freshly forged armor. And once you get a bit better at the game and finally leave this huge thingy-majiggy, that's when the game really starts to open up. I mean, you can cross rivers by using water bending, fly around with air bending, defeat enemies with metal bending, kill them with lightning bending, and you can even fly on Appa! Kawaii! Now, jokes aside, other than Avatar-related stuff, there is so much more in this game. It really is a game where you can almost do anything. If you don't feel like progressing the story, but would rather just walk around Hyrule and explore the area and do some side quests, the map is more than big enough to give you that. Behind every corner, under every rock, above every mountain, with any NPC, and under every skirt, there's something to be found. You can literally climb everything you see, swim across every lake and river you encounter, and fall to your death from every ledge you're standing on. There really is something for everyone here, trust me. If you like to find and solve special puzzles, this game is full with 120 shrines that will either take you a lot of brain power to find them, or a lot of cunning to solve them. But if you are more of a collectioner type of guy, there are 900 Korok seeds hidden throughout the map. It's a lot, I know, but it's so worth finding them all. I won't spoil what you get when you collect all of them, but it's so incredibly game-changing. But let's say you're not that big into action and just want to take it easy and make sure that you survive through the night by getting food. Well, even that can be done in this game. If you like fishing, you can get food by fishing the way my grandpa always taught me how. Hee fishy are dead! If you're more of a meat lover, kill your own horse.
What? You can ride horse in Minecraft?
Just kidding. Don't kill your horse. This guy will not be happy. Kill all the deer you can find, but the horse is holy, capiche? And if fishing and hunting is getting boring, go ahead and show Gordon Ramsay what real cooking is. Now, if all of that just seems very boring to you, and you're more into weird stuff just like me, this game is right up your alley. You can use octopus scrotums to fly. If you are depressed, you can gamble your life away with the devil. You can also pretend to be Doctor Strange and take control of the time stone. Guess what? You can blow yourself up. You can kill the moon spirit that will then cause a blood moon to occur, which then will respawn all the enemies you killed beforehand, so that you can kill them all over again. And again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. You can also find mystical ogres in this game. Donkey! There's even a cinema in which you can watch Star Wars 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And finally, you can now also find out who the better ninja is. Now, I would love to show more things that can be done and found in this game, but I think that the best way for you to experience it is by going through it yourself. There's so much more to this game, but I said that this video wouldn't contain any major spoilers, so I'll leave it at that. This video is just supposed to be a quick summary of everything you can do in Breath of the Wild, and a little sneak peek for people who are unsure on whether or not to get this game. It's a very long game, but it's definitely worth it. This was my very first Zelda game, and it made me start playing the original Zelda games because of how good it is. This game will take you a long time to finish, but it will be an unforgettable experience. Make sure to get Breath of the Wild if you have the opportunity to buy it and the time to play it.
To see through you, I can. To subscribe to my channel, you won't. To like the video, you will, young Padawan. To defeat the YouTube algorithm, Strong enough, I am not. Together, grow we must. Together succeed, we shall. Much to learn, we still have. Farewell, young Padawan.